Winter's emissaries, please work together to find the treasure! May you banish winter's chilling might and bring us warmth!
After being shrouded in darkness for so long, I slowly open my eyes and find myself standing in the middle of a large plaza. As far as the eye can see, pristine snow blanket the land. The occasional snowflake gracefully flutters down from the pine trees. Before me are villagers, their eyes full of anticipation. I'm reminded of
The last time I saw that expression was when we fed a stray dog together.
My gaze shifts to Zayne, who's beside me. The halo above his head emits a warm, yellow light. It's like the nearby lamps. The halo blends in nicely with everything. But how come we are the only ones who have it?
I believe in you, Winter's emissaries! This howling winter won't be a problem so long as we have that legendary treasure!
Sensing my confusion, Zayne speaks up on my behalf.
Excuse me, are you referring to us when you say Winter's emissaries?
The villager nods and points at the halos above my and Zayne's heads.
The legends speak of those who have halos atop their heads! Winter's emissaries! And only Winter's emissaries can find the treasure that brings warmth to wintry days. So, you've got this, Snow Envoys!
The villagers bombards us with information, his passion and enthusiasm stunning me.
It seems he still has more to say.
Haha, I guess he really wants to have a warm winter.
Are you cold?
I nod. A little. I didn't expect the weather simulation to be so realistic, especially we're still in the middle of summer. Zayne leans closer to me and puts a hand warmer in my hand.
Use this.
With an opportunity presented before me, I gently squeeze Zayne's hand and put it and the hand warmer into my pocket. I and Zayne, the treasure-seeking Winter's emissaries, exchange looks. It seems that both of our assigned roles and quest are clear now. Putting on a coat in Cloud Island's changing room, I draw the curtain and step out. The phone in my pocket rings. It's a notification from Planet Lab. Cloud Island Travel Guide? I didn't really read it before coming here. Let me see what they wrote for this area.
Walking with your eyes glued to a phone screen is dangerous. You might get lost before the adventure even begins.
A hand tenderly pulled my sleeve. Zayne's voice makes me immediately look up. The curtain of another changing room is centimeters away from me. I almost walked into it. Luckily, there is no one inside. It's good that I still have Zayne the navigator with me. I turn to Zayne, intending to tell him what I got from the notification. But when I look at his outfit, I can't help but laugh. Above his head rests a halo. He often calls it light pollution when we took photos. Zayne, if you ever get lost, I promise I'll find you in no time, thanks to this halo. No one stands out more than you right now.
Indeed. I also happen to be thinking the same thing.
He takes out a halo that's exactly like the one he has and places it on top of my head.
The staff gave them to me and requested our outfits be somewhat consistent.
Are you sure you don't want me to suffer from light pollution too?
Players, please put on your halos. Make your way to the preparation zone by following the signs.
See? It's not. However, I believe that it's ideal for us to share the burden when light pollution like this is involved.
Wearing our designated outfits, we walk to the preparation zone. A tightly closed door stands before us, and a whole new world is beyond it. Even though it's just a game, I truly feel like I'm embarking on a thrilling adventure with Zayne.
We used real snow and ice to create the scenery, so watch your step and try not to slip. Cabins with a blue sign are safe spots within the area. They serve as shelters during emergencies. You can also rest there. If you're ready, please follow me through this door and close your eyes. Once you hear a voice, open your eyes. That's when the game will start. Your roles and objectives will be revealed after.
Zayne takes my hand.
Since we don't exactly know what's waiting for us, it's best to stick close to your navigator.
I chuckle and poke his halo. I definitely won't lose sight of you. And that's how we started the game at Cloud Island. However, the landscape before me seems familiar. The notification from Planet Lab said this area recreated the setting from Ashwa Snow Village, down the last snowflake.
Isn't that the city builder game you recommended to me? The houses next to the plaza do look similar to the ones in-game.
I wonder if they also built the Ice Palace. Can you believe you need to log in for 100 days in order to claim it? If you miss a single day, you'll have to start all over again. Zayne gestures to the snow-covered mountains in the distance. Amidst a seemingly never-ending ravine stands a crystalline structure with a towering spire.
It's over there.
Standing on my tiptoes to get a better look, I'm about to appreciate the sight when I realize something. You recognize the Ice Palace from just its spire. Don't tell me you already got it in the game. Zayne presses his lips into a thin line. His expression almost screams, "What do you think?"
Opening up a game before my daily morning run is a simple matter.
Above us, clouds blanket the sky and obscure all light. It feels like the weather will remain overcast forever. There's no sunlight. I can't even tell if there's a sun in the sky. After asking the villagers, Zayne and I have figured out where we need to go. As expected, the looming ice palace at the mountain's summit contains the fabled treasure. In addition, only Winter's emissaries are allowed to step into the mountain and make their way to the palace. Are we really the only ones who can enter this area? I glance behind. The villagers who have bid us farewell are standing near the edge of the mountain. Zayne reaches out to touch the air. His palm brushes against an invisible barrier.
It's possible the designers used evil to make this. The halo acts as a pass of sorts.
So from this point on, we can only rely on each other. However, there's a dilemma more troublesome than the treasure hunt itself. Do we really have to climb? I stare at the large mountain, feeling reluctant about the unexpected workout. Zayne, do you think there might be something? As I speak, I turn to look at Zayne. I want to know what he thinks. But it turns out Zayne, who was studying the barrier seconds ago, is already warming up for a climb. He's stretching his wrists and ankles even. Never mind.
I know what's on your mind. I asked a few villagers. If we reach the forest that's halfway up the mountain, the solution will take us directly to the summit.
I let out a sigh of relief, then walk over to Zayne and stretch with him. My navigator is very reliable. He already has our route planned out.
That's because someone was too busy admiring the snails in the bushes.
I was just trying to chat with the local animals, to gain a different perspective.
Unfortunately, the snails are currently hibernating and thus cannot answer your questions.
Smiling, he puts his right leg forward and bends down. I stand to the side and stretch my arms while observing Zayne's movement. Chick, chick. Zayne, your muscles are. I purposefully draw out the last word, letting it linger in the air. And as expected, Zayne's curiosity is piqued.
Or what?
Stiff. Taking advantage of his current position, I quickly walk up to him and squeeze his shoulder. Your shoulders are also stiff. How long have you been hunched over while working? When was the last time you exercised?
Your accusation is unfair. I went for a run yesterday morning. I bought you coffee on my way back as well. Did you forget?
Then it must be the cold weather. Zayne straightens his posture. Shaking the snow off his body, he looks at me nonchalantly.
You're right. When the weather is this cold, it's necessary to find an effective method for staying warm.
He wraps his arms around me, enveloping me in the comforting embrace of his coat.
I feel warmer now.
We try hard to find our way up as we slowly ascend the mountain. The snowfall becomes heavier. As we trudge, the crunching sound of our shoes occasionally startles the birds some meters away. Is this actually a survival game? Climbing halfway up a mountain might sound like an easy, simple goal. But in reality, hey Zayne, watch out. Once again, the sound of slipping catches my attention. I swiftly turn around and catches Zayne, who's walking behind me. Luckily, I prevent him from falling this time.
You saved my life again.
Zayne, be honest with me. Do you have a hidden quest? How many falls do you need before you can claim the reward?
I don't have a quest for that. If anything, I only have myself to blame for wearing these shoes. When I bought them, I didn't expect the soles to be so prone to slipping.
It's rare to see Zayne in such a disheveled state. I quickly cover my mouth with my hand to hide my schadenfreude-infused smile.
It's too late. I already saw it.
It's hard to hide anything from you. I burst into a fit of laughter without wasting a second. It's not often I see you like this. I swear I'm not thinking about anything else.
Really? So there's no underlying meaning behind your laughter?
He talks calmly.
In the movies we've watched together, there's typically a scene where one character carries another in these situations.
Do you want me to give you a piggyback ride? I scrutinize Zayne to assess his height, then I look at myself. For a moment, I believe I can do it if I can make the proper movements. But it's not impossible. If I find the right way to pivot.
You don't need to use me to test the principle of levers. All you have to do is lend me a hand, Miss Physicist.
Pretending to be spiteful, I lift my chin and cross my arms. But who refused my help after slipping for the second time today? Zayne moves a little closer to me, his fingers fiddling with my sleeve. Is he trying to act cute?
I was concerned I'd only be a hindrance to you. But now, I think it's better to ask for your assistance. You'll help me, right? Please.
Okay. No one can resist a big cat begging for attention. I wrap my arm around Zayne's, and we take slow, steady steps forward. Let's think of this as a preview of our future in 50 years. We might be a little unsteady on our feet, but we can still lean on each other.
The mountain path is slippery. Be careful.
My shoes are fine. I can even dance in them right here, right now.
I'm certain you'll still be energetic 50 years from now.
Thanks. You'll also be just as lively in 50 years.
There will be a blizzard soon.
Snowflakes find their way onto Zayne's outstretched hand. He had taken some time to observe them before reaching this conclusion. Zayne looks like a real winter's emissary. I mimic him, holding out my hands and waiting for a snowflake to fall onto them. But as the snow melts on my palm, I'm confused and unable to understand the reasoning behind Zayne's assessment. My navigator happens to have a weather forecast feature, too.
After doing research in the Arctic for several years, I managed to pick up some skills.
It's all from experience, huh? Zayne approaches me and brushes off the snow on my hair.
Plus, some lessons learned from my own recklessness.
He looks around until his gaze falls onto a nearby cabin with a blue sign.
Let's rest at the safe spot for now. Once the blizzard ends, we can continue our quest.
Even though I know the weather simulation would be realistic, I never expected it to actually create a snowstorm.
It's probably to enhance the player's immersion. Otherwise, one could just stroll into the ice palace and grab the treasure without any difficulty.
As we talk, we reach the entrance of the small cabin with the blue sign. The wooden door creaks open, and a space untouched by ice and snow is illuminated. As Zayne lights the fireplace, flickering flames come to life. Their gentle warmth envelopes the cabin. Outside, grayish-white snow swirls in the wind and freely dances upon the region. Weird. The soundproofing in the wooden cabin appears to be really good. Leaning closer to the glass, I tilt my head and try to listen for any noise. But all I can hear is the crackling of the fireplace.
You shouldn't be that close. A blizzard can destroy the window. Sit by the fireplace. It'll keep you warm.
Zayne drags me over to the fireplace. The wicker chair isn't that big. There's just enough room for me to be snuggled against his chest, though. I get it, you're using the fireplace as an excuse to cuddle and stay warm. Nevertheless, I sit down next to Zayne and scoot closer to him.
If you knew what my actual goal was, then why did you still move?
Because I also have the same goal. And in Zayne's arms, I shift into a cozier position to enjoy his warm embrace.
I'm honored to be your personal heater after serving as your navigator.
The crackling sound of the fireplace fills the air. I reach out to it, its warmth gradually seeping into my body. Do you think the treasure the villagers mentioned is something like this?
A treasure that brings warmth in winter. The concept is similar enough.
But visiting the ice palace for firewood would be pointless. They could just go into the forest.
Perhaps the treasure is a self-heating energy stone. Winter's emissaries are like torchbearers. They've been entrusted with the responsibility of bringing energy to the village.
Enveloped in the fireplace's warmth, I can't help but stretch. I'm content. Zayne, your imagination got a little too wild there.
Then what sort of fantasy would you like to listen to?
I want to hear you talk about. When we were kids, wasn't there a snowstorm that trapped you in my house? Zayne is deep in thought, his chin resting on top of my head.
At the time, my parents and I went to your place for dinner. Then it suddenly started snowing. It was getting late, and our car wouldn't start. We had no choice but to spend the night there. However, you had already returned to your room. We barely talked that day.
There's a delicate tremble in Zayne's words, as if they'd been transformed into tangible fragments of memories. As children, could Zayne and I ever imagine ourselves nestled by the fireplace one day, enjoying an idle conversation? What a pity. Maybe it's because I went to bed too early. I don't remember anything about that day. If only I had known sooner. His breath above me gradually steadies. I pause and look up. Then, I quietly chuckle to myself. He fell asleep. Zayne, who was talking just a moment ago, had closed his eyes and drifted into a land of dreams. Well, our journey here did take quite a toll on us. I can also nap for a bit. I close my eyes and fall asleep in Zayne's embrace. It's a nice fragrance. Is that tea I smell? When I wake up, I find myself lying down on the cabin's soft bed. Zayne is at the table with a kettle. Noticing me get up, he puts a teacup on the table.
You're awake? Here. I just finished brewing some tea.
I hold up my drink, and my slightly cold hands are warm once again. Outside the window, the blizzard has already subsided. What can only be seen are snowflakes elegantly falling. There's still no sun. It feels like I only dozed off for a moment. How come the blizzard is gone already?
This weather is but a simulation. Can't keep players trapped for too long.
Do you think the snowstorm hears the wishes of winter's emissaries? And that's why it stopped. What is it?
It's nothing. I was thinking that this blizzard may have heard the wishes of winter's emissaries. They wanted to stay together, so it appeared.
After enjoying the snow-covered scenery outside for a while, I realized something. Zayne, aren't we halfway up the mountain? Slightly perplexed, Zayne nods. How come I don't see a forest? There are only small slopes of varying heights, and they're all made of snow. Zayne stands up and heads over to the window.
The way forward is blocked. It will be difficult to figure out where we're going.
Does that mean we have to do another round of path searching? Is this our only option? I swing open the cabin door and take a couple of steps. The wind tousles my hair and messes up my clothes. Zayne walks next to me. He tucks loose strands of hair behind my ear since they continue to obstruct my vision.
During my time in the Arctic, I learned of a local idiom. Snow will show the way. However, it's hard to judge its authenticity. I haven't tested it either. It could be nothing more than a saying.
Before I can joke about it being an example of superstition, I recall our current roles in the game. Do you want to see whether it's true or not? Pulling Zayne out of the cabin, I stand on a snowy slope with him.
I have doubts about whether or not this will work.
What if it does, though?
The what if you proposed is more uncertain than the idea itself.
Either way, it doesn't hurt to try it. I clasp my hands together and close my eyes. As winter's emissary, I can't help but entertain the possibility that seeking guidance from the snow will get us somewhere. Even though common sense says otherwise. We're winter's emissaries. What we consider normal may no longer apply to our current reality. And since we're now in a game, everything boils down to a single question: how will you know unless you try? Are your eyes closed?
Yes.
I sneakily open one eye to steal a glance at Zayne. And to my surprise, our gazes meet in midair. Zayne, shouldn't your eyes be closed?
It seems that I'm not the only one whose eyes are open.
What happened earlier doesn't count. We're closing our eyes for real this time. 3, 2, 1. Close your eyes.
Okay.
I sneakily open my eyes once more, hoping to catch Zayne again. But Zayne has truly closed his eyes and even mirrored my gesture by clasping his hands in front of his chest. Unfortunately, I didn't bring my phone with me. I really want to capture this moment. I'll make him do this pose next time we take snapshots. Definitely. So, I capture this precious moment with my eyes, feeling satisfied before I close them again. Ahem, let me think. How should I say this?
May the snow be our guide and show us the path ahead.
When I try to find the proper words, Zayne's solemn voice resounds. I'm caught off guard. Why is he somber all of a sudden? Touched by Zayne's attitude, I also speak in a more serious tone. What began as an attempt now feels more significant. Maybe winter's emissaries would actually do this. We, winter's emissaries, offer our prayers.
What we seek is a sign that will lead us to the forest.
The gentle breeze blowing past me gets stronger. Surprised, I stumble. Zayne immediately takes a step to support me by grabbing my shoulders. I guess it's finally my turn to get some help after assisting you during our climb.
We don't need to take turns to do this sort of thing.
Before our eyes, the snowflakes converge. Carried by the wind, they all start to move in the same direction. This can't be happening. The snow is actually showing us the way? I'm stunned by this phenomenon before quickly coming to my senses. Isn't this basically asking the staff for hints when you can't solve a puzzle in an escape room? When I remember how we prayed in the snow, embarrassment washes over me. Despite this, I put on an expression that says, "I told you so," before Zayne. Ahem. Now do you believe in my what if?
I didn't say I had no faith. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said those words in the first place.
And here I thought you'd only ask, where are we going? You really know how to make things special. Zayne winks at me, a hint of mischief in his expression.
Since we're already in a game, we should be more serious about it.
Setting aside those awkward moments, I gaze at Zayne with the same, playful expression. Speaking of which, the way you said those words earlier was really cool.
Thank you for the compliment. I got it from the novel you left at my house.
Hills of snow rise where the snow converges. There's a narrow path between the slopes that heads downward and into the distance. Zayne searches the cabin and finds a simple, wooden sled. He gives it a good shake. The sled is surprisingly sturdy. We don't have sled dogs, so we'll have to rely on our own strength.
A downhill path shouldn't be too difficult to traverse.
Before he can sit on the sled, however, I stop him. Doesn't that mean I can be in the driver's seat? Zayne pauses for a moment. Then, he graciously creates space for me.
Someone's motorcycle skills left quite the impression. I hope the sled ride is a smoother experience.
What do you mean? Motorcycles and sleds are completely different. You can't tease me like that.
I wasn't implying anything.
Glaring at Zayne, I get on the sled. Zayne follows suit, sitting in the back with his long legs positioned on my left and right. I clear my throat. Welcome aboard the Cyan sled. At the moment, only the manual driving system is available. Dear passenger, you can select the following modes: sightseeing, full speed, driver friendly. I hear a soft chuckle behind me.
Could you explain what driver-friendly mode offers?
This. I take Zayne's hands and place them on my waist. Zayne's fingers tighten their grip around me. He chuckles, and his breath brushes against my neck.
It seems to be also passenger-friendly.
Let's go. Grabbing a nearby branch, I stab it into the ground and use it as a means to move the sled. The sled zooms down the slope. Propelled by inertia, Zayne is pushed forward. His chin collides with my shoulder.
I had a feeling this experience would be unforgettable too.
It's the sled's fault, not mine. The sled breaks through piles of snow and races down the narrow path. I fix my hair. Yet before my exposed skin can feel the cold air, a soft piece of fabric protects me. I turn my head. Zayne has given me his scarf.
I'm just fulfilling my duties as Zayne, the personal heater.
Isn't Zayne the personal heater also cold? I accept part of the scarf and wrap the other half around Zayne's neck.
Someone cares for me, so I don't feel cold.
The scenery around us continues to change as the sled races deeper into the center of the forest. It eventually comes to a stop. The snow that's been guiding us dissipates. I get off the sled and scan our surroundings. But aside from a never-ending cave, there doesn't seem to be anything unusual.
As I've said before, if we reach the forest that's halfway up the mountain, the solution will take us directly to the summit.
I don't see any clues.
The villager's hint might not be as literal as it sounds. In the worst-case scenario, we can keep climbing up the mountain. Every challenge has multiple solutions.
Upon hearing the words, climbing up, I immediately focus and prepare myself for our inevitable exploration of the cave. Let's keep looking. I refuse to believe that climbing up the mountain is the simplest solution. As we talk, the sound of footsteps echoes from the cave's depths. It's moving closer to us. A cute, cream-colored elephant pokes its head out from the cave. Its trunk holds a piece of parchment.
Hello, Winter's emissaries. I am Solution. I can take you to the summit thanks to my constitution. Please be gentle with me. Patting my head will fill my heart with glee. My master lives below the mountain in a village small. If you're mean to me, I'll tell them, and it won't be a nice fall.
After taking the cream-colored elephant's parchment and reading it, Zayne and I silently exchange looks. The three of us find ourselves in a state of confusion. Solution, the cream-colored elephant, tilts its head and makes a noise that sounds like it's asking a question. So the solution the villagers mentioned is this elephant?
The wordplay was unexpected.
I do remember someone saying there are multiple solutions for every challenge. Yet despite the unexpected obstacles, there seems to be only one solution. As I look up at Solution, who looks soft and cute, I can't resist the urge to pat its head. Solution lowers itself and allows me to place my hand on it. Zayne, let me tell you a secret. Solution isn't the only one who likes head pats. Understanding the implication in my words, Zayne chuckles and reaches out to pat my head.
Honestly speaking, I believe it hasn't been a secret for a while now.
As we ride on Solution's back, the summit that houses the Ice Palace gets closer with each step. Pushing open the heavy gate, Zayne and I make our way inside. In the icy blue Great Hall, torn pieces of parchment lie scattered about. They flutter into the air when the doors are opened. Zayne bends down and collects a few sheets to read. I also pick up one.
They appear to be observation notes written by Winter's emissaries over the years.
We found the sun. Winter became warmer?
This one says, foggy, no sun in sight.
Are they related to the treasure? So we're looking for the sun? We lift our heads at the same time and gaze at the Great Hall skylight. The sky is still overcast and enveloped in clouds. There are no signs of a sun.
The weather has been cloudy this whole time.
Could making a wish to the snow help us again? Smiling, Zayne shakes his head.
If it were truly effective, we wouldn't have a mess of parchment to deal with.
Neat little tricks only work once, huh? But will we be able to find the sun? We need to find more clues. Our attention is drawn back to the pieces of parchment strewn across the floor. Zayne and I reach an unspoken agreement as we collect the papers once more. If we can't find the sun, we'll just leave a note that expresses our regret for future generations.
At the very least, ensuring others succeed doesn't mean we completely failed.
Blizzard. No signs of sunlight. Rainy. It's pouring non-stop. And the sun continues to hide. With every mention of the word sun, I become more and more convinced the treasure we're seeking is the sun. Following the scattered pages across the Great Hall, I soon find myself in a corner. The parchment papers here are stacked into a pile. It's almost as if they're hiding something underneath. Is it here? A crystal ball emerges from the parchment. The transparent sphere reflects the lead-colored sky. Huh? On a whim, I spin the crystal ball. I'm astonished when the scenery in the sphere changes. Now the reflection is of the skylight above me. Is this a telescope that's shaped like a crystal ball? Since it's been placed here and directed toward the skylight, could we use this to find the sun? I rotate the crystal ball again. A magnified view of Zayne's profile appears inside it. Having yet to notice my actions, he meticulously examines the contents of the parchment. Let's see. Now the weather is. Within the crystal ball, Zayne's gaze remains unwavering. It's not overcast. The sky is partly cloudy. As Zayne's gaze lands on me, he raises his eyebrow, perplexed. Let's go from partly cloudy to light snowfall. He chuckles, finally understanding my words. The crystal ball captures his grin and presents it as an image that's been magnified several times over. This is good. It's starting to snow less, and the sun's about to shine. A dark cloud slowly covers the skylight, and the once illuminated space is now shrouded in darkness. Our halos provide a gentle glow. Navigating through the scattered parchment paper on the ground, Zayne walks to my side. His gaze is locked on me, and the halo above his head casts a warm, yellow light.
If we're talking about a certain kind of sun, There's one right in front of me. She's warmer than the sun in the sky, irreplaceable until the end of time.
I also have one. My son doesn't seem to be warm at first glance, but he has a heart full of passion. I tap Zayne's lips. Words dripping in honey continue to flow out of his mouth. Sometimes I almost forget we're on a treasure hunt.
Or perhaps we've already found the treasure.
He takes my hand and approaches the staircase located in the corner of the Great Hall. Zayne, are you saying?
Yes, the sun might be referring to us.
He shows me the parchment in his hand. It says, "Stand tall on the highest point in the Great Hall, with your head shining as bright as the sun." Got an easy win on the first try. Zayne, is it possible a player from before wrote that note without knowing the actual answer? Though Zayne and I stand on the terrace for a long time, we don't hear a notification sound or anything of the sort.
I suppose the real hints are mixed in with some fake ones. I underestimated this game's difficulty.
In other words, it's time for a gaming master such as myself to step in. I think. I pause for a moment. After all, I haven't done any speculating about the sun we're looking for. I quickly change the subject. Actually, being unable to find the sun isn't necessarily a bad thing. We can still appreciate the beautiful scenery around us. Look. I point at the snow-covered wheat field in the distance. That's an anniversary gift from the Ashwa Snow Village devs to the players. I got it because you used my account to log into the game. Zayne looks in the direction I'm pointing.
I recall the bridge of snowflakes over there being a gift from you. However, I believe it was just so you could clean up your inventory.
You don't need to remember those kinds of things. I point at the area behind the wheat field. That zone is still locked in game. I wonder what. My words catch in my throat, and I narrow my eyes. I quickly run back into the Great Hall and retrieve the crystal ball. Zayne, I found the sun. After playing around for a bit, the scenery behind the wheat field finally comes into view inside the crystal ball. From where we are, we overlook a lake that's shaped like the sun. Faint mist rises from the body of water and covers the area in its ethereal embrace.
It's a hot spring, and relaxing in one can certainly ward off winter's chill.
Its shape and function match the clues. Zayne, we beat the game.
You're very humble for a gaming master. In order to be of greater help in the future, I need lessons from such a talented individual.
I quirk an eyebrow and briefly stop in my tracks as we walk down the stairs. Proud, I stand before Zayne. Well, this gaming master happens to be looking for an apprentice. Good sir, are you genuinely committed to the art of learning? I hold out my hand. Zayne moves closer and rests his chin on my palm.
Is this enough to prove my devotion?
If I take Winter's emissary as an apprentice, does that mean I can summon snow whenever I want? I'll never have to make snowballs for snowball fights, right? Looks like I have nothing to lose and a lot to gain. He straightens his posture, his eyes reflecting wintry hues and me pretending to be serious, but barely holding back a smile.
If that is your wish, then snow will fall just for you, even in the middle of summer. With winter's emissary by your side, every snowflake will remember your name, as well as our story.